defenders, I think, it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian.
Like the big man Ian Wright just said there, people deluded, I'm back again. Now, Arsenal loan report, Arsenal loan watch business. As you know, I and a lot of you, and if you're watching this, you share my passion of youth content, of youth footballers, and just seeing how careers pan out, and how, many of these players, all kind of young, some younger than others, but, many trials and tribulations on loan and things like that. I like it because it prepares people for the real world. Without wasting any time, again, you can check out my previous loan reports, but getting into this week's one, starting with Ainsley Maitland-Niles, people. Now, he's got 2 starts over there at Southampton. His manager, as we spoke about in the previous week, was very critical of him. Clearly, what Hasenhüttl didn't see, and his future is subject to a lot of speculation, the gaffer, clearly whatever he didn't see, he's now seeing, because he's now got 2 games in under his belt. He played against Everton and he also played against West Ham. That's actually meant to say West Ham there, people. But yeah, he played in the defeat to Everton, as stated. He got 74 minutes against West Ham. I wouldn't say he was a defensive midfielder, but if you looked at it, Ward-Prowse was tasked with going forward and connecting the lines and things, and Ainsley was more charged with ball-winning midfielder stuff, sitting and protecting the back four. And I don't think he was amazing, neither do I think he was poor. I think it was a good display that his manager can take some encouragement with, people. He's got 2 starts in a row now, so he's doing what he needs to do. And previously, his gaffer sat there and said that it's just about what position he plays me in and the dynamics of the team. There are different roles I can play in the team, and he just wants me to learn them fully. I've been doing that recently, and he's showing me more trust in me by putting me on the pitch, and that's what everybody's got to do at all levels. So keep going, Ainsley. Get yourself a permanent move to Southampton, or very unlikely, or somewhere else, or very unlikely, but have a future at Arsenal. Now, Tim Akinola's over there, obviously doing his thing. He got against Maidenhead United. He played in the 2-1 defeat, only got 18 minutes against Eastleigh, where they lost by the same scoreline. He got 90 minutes. So, yeah, he's having mixed success over there in the National League. And again, at 21, turning 22, he might be that already. Probably future lies away from Arsenal Football Club. Moller can't buy a game out on loan, people. And again, I don't know. Let's zoom in a bit as well. Moller can't buy a game, but it was nice to see him come on against AZ Alkmaar and get 16 minutes. Obviously, again, Mika Beref went out on loan to Holland and stuff like that, and he's found mixed success. Again, injuries, being in the team, not being in the team for whatever reason, these are things that happen for these footballers, which when you're one of the best players or standout talents for a lot of these boys at youth academy level and stuff, you don't always comprehend it. He got 20 minutes against Fortuna, people, and that was a rubbish reward, because I think the previous week he deserves to start. He came off the bench, and in his 37 minutes, you've got to impact the game however minutes the gaffer gives you. And he bagged 2, and there were 2 well-taken goals in the 3-2 victory over FC Groningen. So hopefully that's the start of things to come for Mika. Obviously, not Ainsley, sorry. I saw fullback and thought Ainsley. Brooke Norton-Cuffy also has a double-barrel name. I think people need to calm down and temper expectations. I think his mentality will see him have a good career either at Arsenal or elsewhere. I don't think he's ready for Arsenal first team yet, but a lot can change. And to be honest, he's where you expect an 18, 19-year-old to be. His mentality will serve him well, and I really do like this guy. His hamstring issue kept him out of the game against Huddersfield Town. He played in the 3-0 L against Blackburn, and everybody was terrible. The good things I think he did, I think he was energetic. I didn't think he hid. I think he tried to do his defensive duties to the best of his ability. I do think he needs to protect the ball a lot better in defensive situations. I do think he gets caught flat-footed a lot. I do think his passing and his crossing across the course of 90 minutes has to improve if he is going to have a snowball's chance at Arsenal. And his positioning, these are things, well, technically, if you ain't really got it at 18, 19 to a degree, it's not going to improve too much, but you can get a tune out of it. He's where you expect a young player to be, really. And as I said, he had energy, didn't hide, and he didn't try. He tried to do his defensive tasks, and he tried to go forward. And one thing I like is manager can see home or away. He's got the mentality. He's not fazed by BS, people, if I'm honest with you. He got forward as much as he could. He tried to be a positive spark in the team, but the downwards, I would say to that, is everybody was a shambles defensively in the build-up to, I believe, the first goal that Blackburn scored, and Diaz tucked away the penalty. Not just Brooke. He gets caught flat-footed a bit, but quite hat-trick quite often, but his whole team's caught flat-footed, and they've literally just passed in between them, and then a man's been taken down unnecessarily. So it was shambolic, all 3 goals collectively. Obviously, I'm a bit selfish because while Brooks there, I'm a rather than like all of these clubs, I'm a fan of these clubs for the season or however long they're on loan, but I'm just there selfishly to watch Brook in it. And I think everybody was a shambles. But speaking on him, he's not alone. The second goal, he didn't follow his runner. You know, the ball's on the right hand side, a cross comes in side, the Blackburn winger puts a cross in. You can see the left winger starting to make a run. Brook Norton-Cuffy's got to think, you've got to get there. You've got to get there before your man. Even if you just put him off, he doesn't, they score. The third goal as well, the whole team was caught in an attacking transition. But again, being selfish, looking at Brook, it comes from his side. Again, you know, other people are putting in more of a defensive shift than him in that regards. He's kind of gone, there's kind of a laxed approach, in my opinion, which you can't do at the top level, really. As I said, they got caught on the counter attack, and it lacked energy from him to get back into that position. They attacked down his side, and ultimately it went in the back of the net, really. These things happen as a fullback, but, you know, for someone who says he takes it personally, I know Brook won't be happy. A minor hamstring not kept him out of his side's victory against Huddersfield, but the highs and lows, the good games, the bad games, this is what make players, in it. You're not, you know, I know there's a lot of hype around these young players, and rightly so, but you're not going to be the finished article at 18 years of age. Everything you touch isn't going to be gold dust, really. You know, he needs to, and what I like is he's gone out there out of his comfort zone, and he's learning fast, isn't it? You know, it's like throwing someone, not the best of examples, but it's like throwing someone who can't swim or learning to swim or knows how to do a lap of the pool, throwing them into difficult currents in the ocean. It's sink or swim. If you don't swim, you know, it's curtains, really. And I like about these young players, it's the harsh reality of football. Again, they're young players and have to act accordingly, but at 21's level, if you do some of them things, you might not be dropped. I'm not saying he would or he should or he will be dropped, but you might lose your place out of the team. But good big ups to him building on his experience from League One in the Championship. So yeah, we're rooting for Brook and everyone else. Miguel Aziz is over there in Spain. People like Marcelo Flores, at this moment in time, he's got 7 league appearances. He got 90 minutes in the Las Palmas draw. He got 90 minutes in the 2-1 defeat to Eibar, and against FC Cartagena, they lost 2-0 as well, and he got 73 minutes. So minutes are currency. I do think, you know, you want to see him play to a higher level and do things a bit quicker, because he can pass. He's a very cultured player, but you want to see it's the Miguel Aziz show, and you don't necessarily see that. But he is literally getting better with every game. Now, Marcelo Flores, again, there's rumors he might switch allegiances to Canada, and Canada and Mexico are in the World Cup. If it was based on club form, he's not going to get near it. He's still yet to play 90 minutes. His side at the moment of making this vid sit 19th in the league. Still, the significant minutes he got was 75 minutes in against Leganes at the start of the year. Their manager's been sacked. They've got no win in 8. So again, he's going to have to start all over again. And maybe the new manager uses him even less, maybe uses him even more. And you'd imagine if it continues, that's something. Maybe him, Omar Rekik, they're two potential loans that are earmarked, in my opinion, for Arsenal in January to maybe consider, you know, cutting short. But he got 20 minutes against Albacete, where they lost 1-0, people. So yeah, he has to keep going. Minutes have been tough. Ryan Elaboso, obviously over there in Scotland, he got 3 minutes in the 2-2 draw against Hearts, and he played 90 against St Mirren, which was also a draw, but there was no goals. Mziza Gongbo obviously lost his place after getting a red card, and he's not really had much of a look in. He weren't involved against Doncaster, Stevenage, Grimsby, or Newport. So hopefully the next loan report I do, we've got something to speak about with him. Arthur Okonkwo, now again, he's still learning the tricks and trades of being a goalkeeper at the top level. He's actually crossed paths with one of Ramsdale's former goalkeeping coaches, and Ramsdale said, I spoke to him recently because Arthur, who plays for Arsenal, has just gone on loan to Crewe, and we worked hard at Arsenal. We have a Spanish coach, and it's different. His training is very explosive, and Fred is hard, short dives and volleys. If you drop a volley, you start the short dives again. And Arteta couldn't finish Arthur couldn't finish his first session with Fred, and that's what he needs. I said it's hard, but I left a lot of things out for him to realize. And Fred texted me and said he couldn't finish the first day. So I rang Arthur, and he was like, "This is serious. I need the games to start coming Saturday, Tuesday, so I get a bit more time off." but he'll come back and he'll be in a much better place physically and mentally. So shout out to Arthur for going on loan and developing. You ain't going to get that much at Arsenal because Turner and Ramsdale ahead of you. Shout out to the goalkeeping coach Barber, and shout out to Ramsdale for keeping a good relationship, goalkeepers union and that. Now, just based on what some fans say about Arthur, he seems a competent keeper, but his positioning seems quite poor, and he's been described by a lot of their fan base as quite problematic. Now, for us, he's a young 20, 21-year-old goalkeeper learning the tricks and trades. This is why I love loans, because for Crew, they don't care about that. They're trying to stay in the league, get promoted, whatever they're trying to do. And you know, he's got 5 clean sheets in his 14 appearances. He's conceded 19. From what I see at Crew, they can't defend dead ball scenarios. Arteta would probably beat up all the players, really. You know, they're caught lacking, and some of the goals are not his fault. And the thing, like I said, the things you need to improve, you'd expect him to want to improve. Sometimes I feel, sometimes he could catch, he palms it. Shots he palms, he could palm a bit more convincingly. Distribution, okay, bit so-so. Positioning, the main error sometimes, because some of the goals he could have done a bit better, really. Against Tranmere in the 3-0 L people, I think the second goal he would be very tip shots he could catch, as I said. I think the third, again, the goalkeeper's the last line of defense. So before you ask questions of the defense, you have to ask questions of the strikers, who in the modern day at any level is your first defenders, your midfield, obviously your back 4-3, whatever you're going with, and then your goalie. The third goal was terrible by all stretches of the imagination, but I do think he was too far easily beaten at his near post. Again, in the 1-1 draw against Gillingham, people, Crew, as I said, seemed terrible at defending corners and set pieces, but he did make a fantastic save he should make, but a fantastic save to deny a goal-bound free kick. It was a great effort. I can't even remember the lad who took it, but big up Arthur doing what he needs to do. This was actually from last week, but big up Tyrese John Jules. As I said, I'm a big fan of his. It's a big testing period at times, in and out the squad, had injuries. In terms of, you know, a catalogue of goals in 17 appearances, 2 goals, 1 assist, it's not necessarily the best, and not really 90 minutes all the time, but he is, you know, the Ipswich fans are taking to him. He works hard, his link-up play is good. He just needs a bit of luck in terms of goals, man. I think against Morecambe in his 76 minutes, he worked very hard. It was a selfless performance, as it always is with Ty. Very good player, whether he makes it here or at Arsenal or elsewhere. I'm always going to support the lad. He gave the defenders problems, but at the same time, they gave him no space. You know, he was trying to make space, but they were onto him. You know, Tyrese John Jules, good-looking lad playing for Arsenal, and that I'm sure he's got a lot of women in his DMs. Them defenders have probably have been closer to him than any women could ever be, in my opinion. They weren't giving him no space, really, but it is what it is. He played against his former loan club in Lincoln, and they lost 1-0. He only got 24 minutes, so hopefully he can stay clear of injuries and get some goals. Omar Rekik, still, you know, with it being October, only got 17 minutes for Sparta in terms of league action. Literally got a minute in their 3-1 victory against FC Emmen, and literally in their 2-0 victory against NEC, he got a minute as well. So for someone that probably wants to be in the Tunisia World Cup squad, provided get you in there, and even if you get in there, you're not going to go there. You're not going to go to the World Cup in your best condition. So, well, January would be too late, but just in terms of his long-term development, January is probably an area that they're looking at, probably to recall someone. Alex Kirk been in and out the side over there in Scotland for our United, but he's back. He played 90 minutes in their 5-0 victory against. Also got 90 minutes, people. Harry Clark, you know, one of our better loan performers, you know, been a bit dealt a cruel hand with injuries, but they're part and parcel of football. Got 6 minutes off the bench in the 2-0 victory against Preston to help close out the win. Burnley is the hero. He helped his team snatch a point. He started the move, and he actually at Ipswich was a striker. And it's like, since he's come to Arsenal, he's gone centre mid and gone centre back / right back. And every now and again, he shows glimpses, definitely when he was at loan in Scotland, that I could still do some of them things. He started the move, what led to the goal, and obviously headed a powerful effort home, people. And, you know, that's what you got to do, whether you're off the bench or whatnot in your 18 minutes, utilize them. And he nicked a point against Burnley for his side, Stoke, people. So big up Harry Clark. Austin Tusty, you know, if we had to give October Loan Player of the Year, he could be up there, really and truly, you know, against Bristol with their 3-0 victory. As a defender, you should be happy first and foremost, you got a clean sheet, but he scored 2 goals. Against Middlesbrough, Middlesbrough. I can't lie. Always, from what I see at Birmingham, he always has a busy day defensively in their 3-5-2 formation, but he seems to do all right. Against Borough, another busy day having to defend. Former Haylender Akpom bagged as well, and actually Arsenal loan army member. He did put a lovely cross in for Trey Deeney, and he did try to progress the passing forward. Again, I don't know his level, but he's a lot better than I thought, and he does. He's shown that he can be a danger from set pieces. He's shown a good mentality. He doesn't hide. He tries to bring the ball out from the back and show calm, collective, and composed passing abilities. He does read the game quite well, and I don't know if he'll make the grade at Arsenal, but it should be someone that I don't think a decision should be made yet, but it might be someone that Arsenal could sell really and make some decent money. And Birmingham fans are loving him really and truly. Against Hull, again, he had a very busy first half. He tried to attack down. They tried to attack down his side, and he showed composure as you want your centre backs to show. Now, Charlie Patino is having a great loan spell over there at Blackpool. If he wasn't injured, it would be even better. But he's up there, and he's getting better and better game by game. In the 3-1 victory against Watford, he got 90 minutes. He played slightly more deeper in the first half and slightly more advanced in the second. He was fouled numerous times in that second half, and it comes with the territory, innit? He's got eyes in the back of his head, lovely passer, lovely intelligent footballer, 9 out of 10 performance. I mean, you got to give the man time, innit? He's at the right stage of developing. He's getting better physically. He doesn't hide from the physical stuff. Mentality is there. He's an Arsenal player, innit? And I think he's got Spanish in his bloodline as well. So Ayland and obviously being Spanish, it's a madness. He's got lovely passing range, can carry a ball, showing consistency, because that's the main thing for these players like Tusty, showing consistency. It doesn't matter how good you are. There's 38 Premier League games. If you're only good for showing consistency, and he's showing that he's competent in his role, he's showing confidence in his role, he's showing consistency. So that is why you're playing really and truly. So yeah, crazy game against Sheffield United, people, where they drew 3-3. That Blackpool had 2 men sent off, and I'm sure one was sent off at the final whistle or after the final whistle. He played with maturity, he showed composure, he showed silky passes, he rose to the occasion. He's becoming very consistent at this level, people, and he just needs to keep going really. And our boy Charlie, as you can see here, happy belated as well, because it was his birthday yesterday or the day before. When I was at Arsenal, the 21s, every goal kick was played from the back, and it was different structures and patterns of play. It was not about winning. It was about the playing style and developing players. Winning is a bonus, but at that level, it's about the style, playing the style, that ultimately how the boss wants to play in the first team. In the Championship, it's ruthless and about finding 3 points. Not everything is going to be pretty, but it's finding ways. It might be different tactics for a different opposition style, but identifying their strengths and weaknesses and act upon them. And that's true. And even if we look at Arsenal against Leeds, that was a dogfight. You just needed to win. So that's the calm. That's what I think is the ugly, beautiful truth of football, and especially for these young players, you need to get the result. There's managers' jobs on the line. There's fan pressure. Chairmans want to do this and that and the other. And I don't feel 21's football just in general prepares these boys for the mental game, let alone the physical shell shock that they'll have when they get into it. You look at Balogun at Middlesbrough, he had a testing loan and he's done even better now at the moment at Reims. So yeah, big up young Charlie for that one. When you look at Balogun, Reims are quite crazy, Again, they sit 15th in the league. They've had 7 red cards in 11 games. The latest against Lorient in the 0-0 draw, where it was a quiet game from Balogun. He did have not couple of efforts. There was one that he shanked just wide. I thought he could have done better with, but nothing of note. He's actually been speaking about his international future. He said, above everything, I feel English, but I also have an American side because I have family in New York and love going there. I have my grandmother and cousins in Lagos, which is Nigeria. Even if I haven't been there since I was very young, my mother sometimes speaks to me in Yoruba, and it's important to me. Just like my future at club level, I'm not closing any doors regarding international selection. All options remain open, and he'd be a fool to close them. Fortunately, he's a sensible lad, isn't it? As I said, against Lorient, nothing really of note. He fired a shot wide. His team's quite crazy. Lorient had a red card of their own, and I think they prevented Lorient from going top, actually. So if you look at it like that, it's a good point. Against PSG, they battled very well in it. They battled Balogun, you know, a bit quiet. Well, it was quiet. 6 out of 10. It was more of a collective thing. He worked hard, didn't really do anything of note once again. He still got 6 goals and 2 assists, I believe, in like 11 appearances in France. So we just hope he keeps going. Good collective effort from Reims, as I said. He did in the closing stages of the game, along with a teammate Zinali, have chances to score but failed. And, you know, sometimes with more pressure, you might be looking really, and you're going to be with the caliber of players PSG has to select from. Nuno Tavares, in the games I've seen against Sporting and against PSG, people, again, Nuno, I'm yet to be convinced defensively. I think against PSG, 6 out of 10 performance. I think once again, shooting when you need to pass. There's no point getting into the final third if you're not picking out the right options. He could have set up Alexis Sanchez in the 25th minute, but elected to shoot like he did in the reverse leg, not this one, but the reverse leg against Sporting. And your decision making, your maturity, your defending needs to improve. It is a bit one-trick pony stuff. It is quite frustrating. He's not making better decisions, but it is what it is for them, really and truly. In that regards, people. Wait, why am I getting mixed up with stuff, people? Sorry, folks. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know why. I just thought, I've just got deja vu there. Sorry, I must have been living in the future. But yeah, man, nothing. 6 out of 10 performance. Weren't terrible, weren't amazing. Against Sporting, I think he had a good effort, man. You know, he never stopped trying to attack. I think he did okay defensively against Sporting. He provoked havoc. He offered an outlet down the flanks as he did, and it was a fairly solid game from the young man. So yeah, as you can see, mixed successes, people. But these lot are all at the right stages to develop. And again, it's a long season. Some people started off blistering. They'll probably falter out. Some players start off slowly and then get better. And then obviously some players last the distance. So yeah, appreciative of all of you lot watching it with me. We're watching this and with myself and listening to what I have to say about the loan reports and that. Let me know your opinions. Please make sure you're subscribing. You're hitting the notification button so you're up to date with any vids. You're hitting the like button as well, people. Every like boosts the engagement. But on that note, I'm going to let you lot get out of here, people. That's all I've got to say on these young players. I'm out.
There's always just that active red line defenders. I think it's like